So today's class will actually I will be talking about insect classification and the basis of insect classification. So for this semester I will start with insects. After insects I will go to animal behavior, then developmental biology, and last I will take up molecular biology. In my opinion, or experience in the last 2 years, I have seen that people ignore insect biology and they ignore um, your animal behavior. So রিয়া, তুমি কি একটা
হ্যাঁ
হেডফোনে শুনবে, বা তুমি মিউট করো নিজেকে, মাইকটাকে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, প্রশ্ন হলে জিজ্ঞেস করো, কারণ তোমার গলাটাও আসছে। কোনো প্রবলেম, দ্যাটস নট আ প্রবলেম, মানে আমি তোমাকে জাস্ট জানিয়ে দিলাম, মানে ভিডিওতে এগুলো আসবে। আচ্ছা। আর মানে আমি নিজের গলাটা নিজেই শুনতে পাচ্ছি, তোমার কাছে যে গলা বলছি সেটা এবারে তুমি লাউড স্পিকারে শুনতে পারো, কোনো অসুবিধা নেই, আসবে না। আচ্ছা। সো মাই এক্সপিরিয়েন্স, আই হ্যাড ফাউন্ড দ্যাট পিপল ইগনোর ইনসেক্ট বায়োলজি অ্যান্ড দে ইগনোর অ্যানিমেল বিহেভিয়ার, অ্যান্ড দ্যাটস আ কোয়াইট আ লট অফ মার্কস. Molecular biology, developmental biology, well, it is not that difficult as it looks. It's a matter of conception. In between, maybe 1 or 2 classes of molecular biology or developmental biology, that would be good. Just but between 3 classes of insect biology, I take 1 class of molecular biology. I believe I have the impression that this will be more beneficial, because and basically I have to even talk about some benefits. So let us progress with insect biology. So today we go for classification of insects. So first what we need to go, let me present my screen. Okay, first thing is basis of insect classification. Is it clear? Are you able to see this?
ইয়েস স্যার
Good, good. So when you are able to see this, then it's fine. So let me just increase the size. So what is the base? What do you mean by basis of insect classification? By basis of insect classification, one means how, on what features and characters are insect classified or grouped into orders and classes are grouped. So মানে কি ভিত্তিতে ইনসেক্টদের ভাগ করা হয়েছে। So the basis first is presence or absence of wings, whether they have wings or not. But on that basis they can be divided into apterygota, example the silverfish. You'll find them in old books moving around. They have got a tail and an antenna front. Apterygota, Thysanura order. So you find them, and you have the pterygota. The famous ones are the butterflies. The pterygota can be divided into exopterygota, like the red cotton bug and the cockroach, and the endopterygota, the moths and the butterflies. Exo means baire, outside, and endo means inside. So these are these are very certain basic things which you have read. We'll go into details about them. Then they are classified also on the basis the classification character, the feature which is used for classifying them are the chewing and biting, whether the mouth parts, whether they are chewing or biting. In cockroaches and grasshoppers, the mouth part is chewing and biting. And chewing, it can be also chewing and lapping. Example, in honeybee they take nectars. Then it can be piercing and sucking. For example, in the red cotton bug, you can find it to be piercing, and it sucks the nectar out. Then sponging, houseflies. Siphoning, mosquitoes. They draw the blood outside. They can be rasping and sucking, like in thrips. Again, on the type of metamorphosis, they can be divided into ametabolous. For example, silverfish. The small young ones, they resemble the grown-ups. You can be hemimetabolous. almost they resemble, but there are some differences. For example, in moths, butterflies, in cockroaches and in grasshoppers, you find hemimetabolous, and you have the holometabolous. You have moths, butterflies, beetle, and the weevils. You have the hypermetabolous, the blister beetle. Every stage looks different from each other, absolutely. Then they can be divided into classified on the basis of feeding behavior, feeding habits. They can be herbivorous, they can be carnivorous, they can be omnivorous. Like cockroaches are omnivorous, carnivorous are the praying mantids or the ladybird beetle. The herbivorous ones are the stem borer or the aphids and the grasshopper. Herbivorous insects can be further classified into monophagous, the jowar shoot fly or the oligophagous, groundnut leaf miner. They take lots of different types of crops. The monophagous only one type of crop, and the polyphagous is any type of crops, actually, basically many types of crops they will eat. Then they can be divided on the basis of reproduction. They can be viviparous, for example the aphids. They can be oviparous also. The aphids are also oviparous, ovoviviparous. And you can have parthenogenesis. They are also examples, different aphids which are they show parthenogenesis. And you have polyembryony, for example the larva of cystidomids. Cystidomids are small larvae which you can find. They have in one egg you find small little embryos developing. So from one egg you can find many flies coming out. It's basically different embryos are present inside one egg. Then you have hermaphroditism. Definitely it is not earthworm. Earthworms are not insects. Be very clear about this. Because the reason it is over here, earthworms, is that I have seen people making mistakes over here. They write hermaphrodite examples earthworm. Insects are not, there are no earthworms are not insects. They are annelids. So be very careful about this. So I have highlighted this part over here. Just be very not to write. And as a home task or something like that, find out an insect which is hermaphrodite. Okay. Then you have economic classification of insects. They possess no economic importance. They possess economic importance. They can be harmful. They can be pests. They can be pests of store products, inside godowns. They can be pests of humans. Being an animal, mosquito, my god, they bite and it's a pest. Housefly, cattlefly. They can be beneficial, like honeybees, silk, lac. And they are used for making dyes also. Blister beetle is there. They use for cantharidin is made from blister beetles for healing blisters. Nectar, tannic acid, all these are important. So these are classification. So now let us go to the part of classification of insects. Are you able to see superclass Hexapoda in the classification?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now we have the insects are known as Hexapoda. In this type of classification, insects belong to a superclass, Hexapoda or Insecta. And their class and order is Protrura. In the class and order Protrura, this is a Protruran. So there are about 200 species described. They are ametabolous. They are anamorphic. They are minute and whitish with entognathous, the mouth parts inside mouth parts. They lack eyes and antenna and may function for later. They have no wings, no sessile legs with one segmented tarsi, styli on the. All these you can find all these information. I'm not going to go through the whole note. These are basically things with things which you can follow slowly. You can see that class Insecta, subclass Apterygota, order Thysanura. You can find a picture and stuff like this over here. I will come on to these parts later. You can, and before I finish this part, I will go to the PowerPoint presentation on one student, the absolutely wonderful PowerPoint student, PowerPoint presentation made by the student. It's ANUSHA Rajan, her name is. She made a fantastic presentation, one of the best. So this is best to give you an overview of the insects. So I would say that there are many orders of insects, but these orders like order Coleoptera, Striciptera, Mecoptera, Diptera, Hymenoptera, Siphonoptera, Lepidoptera, Trichoptera, Hemiptera, these are some important orders. So let us go to this. Let's go to the view full screen. Okay. So you have Coleoptera, these are the important insect orders. So several orders of insects are present, and these are the important orders. The first group is the Coleoptera. What is order? What is what is class, superclass? At this moment, I would say don't bug yourself with that, but don't bother yourself. But remember certain groups or orders. Name, for example, gradually this classification scheme, it's going out of contention. Now people are more interested in cladistic classification, like in the former. This is a type of cladistic classification. You find a tree evolutionary tree has been made on the basis of morphological characters. So they divided it into so many groups. Out of them, these groups are important actually for your questions and your viva and all these stuff. So bother yourself with this. Don't right now, since it's a huge order, just don't bug yourself with this author has classified it like this, or this author has that, because that's almost impossible to memorize. It's not a memory game, it's a game of understanding. Okay, so the first thing is the Coleoptera. The Coleoptera means, in Greek it is koleos or sheath. It is covered by a protective sheath. It's a beetle. And pteron is a wing. So basically wing is the most important criteria for classifying insect. Wing. So in the viva, if anybody asks what is the most important criteria for classifying insect, the wing. And of course in the basis of classification I mentioned mouth parts, the type of feeding habits, etc, etc. So there are economic importance. You can divide insects according to classify, but the most important is the wing. So Greek, the common name is the Greek name is Coleos, and the English common name beetle. So they are the group Coleoptera. So it's a sheath. So to talk about their diversity and distribution, this is the largest order among insects. Maximum number of beetles are found among all the insects. Approximately 3,55,000 species have been described in this world, found throughout the world except in Antarctica, but are the most species in the tropics. Maximum number of diversity of species. There is one chapter known as diversity of insects. So this is the diversity. This slide also covers the diversity. So among all the insects, the beetles show maximum diversity. They are found throughout the world except Antarctica. And maximum number of species are found in the tropical countries, especially in our country. We are in the tropics. And antiquity, what you know about ancient parts, ancient story, oldest beetle fossils are about 265 million years old. And now if you look at the size of the beetle, okay, so basically the adults are around 0.3 millimeter. They can be very small, especially the minute feather wing beetles, or to the giant Goliath and Hercules beetle. They are over 15 centimeter. Titanius giganteus. They are over 15 centimeter. This beetle, huge beetle. You can find them. Possibly you can find it in our department collection, our entomology collections in the department. You can find them there. Then major features are the head is prognathous and wedge shaped. Mouth parts outside, pro means ahead, and they're rigidly sclerotized forewings called elytra, and beneath it the hind wings are folded. So you find they have forewings elytra. If you remember the last lecture, there was one beetle picture which I've given. The first wing which came out from the forewing, which came out, it's a hard forewing, sclerotized. Sclerotin is a protein. Sclerotized forewings, very hard, and therefore because elytra, and therefore it's like a sheath also outside, and therefore they are coleopterans. So if you say one characteristic feature of coleopterans, rigidly sclerotized forewings called elytra, and beneath it the hind wings, they are folded. Elytra locking mechanism, scutellus, shield and alacriste. So the elytra basically can lock. They lock the whole insect. So this is another character. These are other characteristics, but the most important characteristic which you must definitely write, it is rigidly sclerotized forewings called elytra. Mesothorax is shortened, forming compact unit with metathorax. So as you know, the insect is classified into prothorax. The thorax is divided into prothorax, mesothorax and metathorax, and so the mesothorax is shortened, and mesothorax and metathorax, they are almost like one unit. Protonium, the first segment, it is shield like and like an armor in front. Antenna usually has less than 11 segments. So the antenna which you find, it has got less than 11 segments. Longitudinal and transverse hindwing folding. So longitudinal means straight and transverse. So the wings are folded like this, not like this. In mosquitoes, it's so basically they come like this. That's folded like this on top of the insects. Terminal segments invaginated, holes, invaginated. Okay, taxonomy, they have suborders: Archostemata, Adiphaga, Mixophaga, Polyphaga. You don't, just few names just to memorize. There are certain names, but you don't need much details on these. So Archostemata, you can see examples. These are all examples. Priacma, serrata, reticulated beetles. You have several pictures. It's a suborder. You don't have to read much, but just to know the names. Then you have the Adiphaga. In the Adiphaga, you have this Colpeus inflatus, burrowing water beetles. These names you need to remember. Few of these names of these beetles, whatever you remember. Then you have the crawling water beetles, the ground beetles. They look beautiful. Then the Mixophaga has the minute bog beetle. Then you have the Polyphaga. Important among them is this beetle. Just hold on a minute. Okay, this they emit some light, these beetles. Then you have the Strepsiptera. This particular order, it means To twist, the wings are twisted. English common name is twisted wing parasites. Now if you look at the diversity and distribution of this insect, basically there are 600 species are described. They occur on all continents except Antarctica. Diversity increases towards the tropical region and is likely highest in Africa. And among the ancient ones, what you find is that a well-preserved adult male has been described from 100 million year old Cretaceous amber. Amber is a type of stone in which the fossils are found. In the Cretaceous age you can find these. Major feature, their wings have an unusual twist. They are highly specialized endoparasites. They live inside and they live as a parasite. They show extreme sexual dimorphism. They are endoparasites of insects which belong to the orders Thysanura, for example Lepisma, Blattioidea, cockroaches, Mantoidea, praying mantis, Orthoptera, they are jumping ones. Then you have the Orthoptera, the grasshoppers, Uchingre. Then you have the Hemipterans, the dipterans, the flies, the Hymenopterans, the ants and bees. They show extreme sexual dimorphism. That is, the males and the females, they don't resemble each other. So if you look at the dimorphism over here, sexual dimorphism, what you find that adult females, they are all endoparasites. They lack eyes, antenna, legs, mouthpart and wings. Ovaries are reduced. Oocytes floating in hemolymph. Free living. The males are free living. They have raspberry like eyes. They have branched antenna. Their forewings are modified as halters. Hind wings are fan shaped, cuticle densely covered with microtrachea. They have simple blade like or hook shaped penis. Now if you look at the taxonomy, you don't need to go much into details of this. Just this is how they look as endoparasites. This is all the species examples of this particular order. Then you have the famous dipterans. Di means two, pteron means wings. They have two wings. They are the true flies and mosquitoes. Drosophila. So mega diverse orders with presently around 150.
Sir,
হ্যাঁ
মেকআপ টেরাটা কোথায়?
কি
মেকআপ টেরার একটা রয়েছে অর্ডার, তা কই বললেন?
এখনো তো বলিনি, ওটা পড়তে হবে না, অত ম্যাক্রোটেরা পড়তে হবে না তোমাকে।
আচ্ছা স্যার।
ওটা 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 যে মানে যেগুলো এখানে রয়েছে সেগুলো ইম্পর্টেন্ট। ধরে রাখো এইটা যে এই এতগুলো মনে রাখা মুশকিল, তো এই যে পার্টিকুলার স্লাইডটা এই স্টুডেন্টটা করেছে খুব ভালো করেছে, মানে এ সিলেক্ট করে নিয়েছে ইম্পর্টেন্ট জিনিস। এটা আমি করলেও আমি এইগুলোই সিলেক্ট করতাম, যেহেতু আর এই ছবিগুলো এত ভালো আমি দেখলাম যে এটা করব। আমি তার নামটা নিলাম এই জন্য, বিকজ আই ওয়ান্ট টু গিভ ক্রেডিট টু দ্য পার্সন হু মেড ইট। আই হ্যাভ টেকেন ইট ফ্রম স্লাইড শেয়ার। তাকে মানে তোমরাও যদি একটা খুব ভালো প্রেজেন্টেশন বানাও, আমি কোন দিন কোনো ক্লাসে দেবো, তোমাদের নাম বলবো, যেরকম এই স্টুডেন্টটা এত ভালো করেছে। আমি অনেক প্রেজেন্টেশন দেখেছি, কিন্তু আই নেভার ফাউন্ড আ প্রেজেন্টেশন অ্যাজ গুড অ্যাজ দিস। ওকে, সো এখন let us concentrate on dipterans. So they are mega diverse order. Mega diverse means lot of diversity are found. Even right now one is flying around in this room and it's disturbing me a lot. So and they occur on all continents including coastal regions of Antarctica. ওখানেও আছে মশা, অ্যান্টার্কটিকাতেও ছাড়েনি বোধহয়। Okay, the oldest fossil of dipteran flies are known from early Triassic, 251 million years ago. Major feature, proboscis or the haustellium. The proboscis, another name of the proboscis is haustellium. That is formed by the prementum. So they have got a special sucking type of mouth parts, haustellium. You have to read them in your practical. Just keep this in mind. Mouth parts vary according to diet, are adapted for lapping and sponging liquid or piercing and sucking. They have got a large mesothorax. Metathorax and prothorax are reduced in size. They have a single pair of membranous forewings. Some ectoparasitic species are wingless, of course. Hind wings in all species are reduced to form halteres. Halteres are below the wings. You find another small pair of wing-like structures, and they are for balancing. The fly needs it for balancing. So this is the mouth part of a dipteran. Different parts are there. You can go. This you have to study in details much more later. You'll find all these structures. They are in your practicals also. And so the taxonomy, you don't need to. The horned ones, the ones just Nematocera. This is, for example, this is the Aedes mosquito. Then you have the phantom midges. Then you have the common flesh fly or the hoverfly. Major family, biting family, the horsefly. So you have a lot of these examples. Then there are herbivorous fruit flies like Drosophila, scavenger flies like the blowfly. This blowfly is used in forensic entomology. Suppose a person dies and as the body is rotting for say 3-4 days, so you can find these blowfly larvas in bodies which are 3-4 days old. So once you find blowfly larvas, you know that that person has actually died at least 3-4 days before. So these by which you can investigate. So this is a part of forensic entomology. About this forensic entomology, you can find information in our BB College YouTube channel, where you can find that one of the students, Priya Mukherjee, unfortunately Priya's father died this few days back, and it's a very sad thing. She's a very good student, and you can see that she has talked about a lot of this forensic entomology. I think it's Priya Mukherjee. I don't remember. Maybe it's Konkona Singhoray. But you check in those things, you can find that this particular forensic entomology slides. It's Bipasha, I think. She's talked about Bipasha. She's also a very old student of our college, right from BSc, and now she's about past her MSc or about to pass her MSc, and she has given this semi talk. You can find a lot on this forensic entomology. Nice talk. It's in YouTube. I've uploaded it in the YouTube for the BB College channel. You can subscribe to that channel. You can even subscribe to my channel also below. And then you have the predatory ones, the tiger bee flies. Then you have parasites, the bot fly. You have the scorpion fly. This is how it looks, the scorpion fly. Order Mecoptera. Scorpion fly. This is not a diptera. They are known as hanging flies. Long wings. Meko means long. So they are one of the small groups of holometabolous insects. Approximately 550 species described. Oldest ones found in the Permian 299 million years ago. The major feature is the head is hypognathous, a presence of a ventrally projecting rostrum. Rostrum has slender mandible and maxillae elongate labium, but long wings, head hypognathous and ventrally projecting rostrum. So there is a protrusion coming out from the rostrum. That is an important characteristic. This rostrum. It's a ventrally projecting rostrum. Rostrum is a protrusion which comes out like a horn, you can say. Slender thread-like antenna, fore and hind wings are similar in size, shape and venation. Presence of a genital capsule in males. This is also an important thing. A small capsule-like structure is present in the genital regions. So this is how it looks, a very long thing. And you can see ANT, antenna. FWI is the forewing, FWI. Then you have the GCOX, Gonocoxa, GCX, you can COX, this is the Gonocoxa. And the pronotum, PRN. This region is the protonum, or you can say you can find this region. You can, my previous slides, you can see this, you can find this. So this is a structure which you have to go through carefully, but you don't need much details on this part. Just one or two characters and one or two examples on this. This is just for your curiosity. I'm just mentioning all these things. So the order is presently divided. The taxonomy is over here. Then you have the Xenocoelachiopis, the Siphonaptera. Siphon means tube. They siphon out like from a tube. They don't have wings. Without tube, without wings. Siphonaptera. The apterygotes, no wings. Common name, fleas. You find them on the fleas, dog fleas on dogs. Ituli, Kukurer ituli. So these are, they draw blood from the body. So over 2,500 species of siphonapterans are described. They occur on all continents, including Antarctica, and Eurasia has got the most number of species. Fossils were found in the lower Cretaceous 6.5 million years, 65 million years ago in Australia. This is the fossil, Tarwina australis, of this particular flea-like animal. They feed on blood of land mammals. They are small, wingless, and laterally flattened. Laterally, when pass take a chaptano, flattened like this. Ituli, you just can press them to kill them. Their short head that bears 3 segmented antennas, sucking, biting mouthparts. Hind legs are modified as jumping legs. So if they want, they suck. But if they find they want to go to another region, they just, with their hind legs, they just jump over to another plant. So their hind legs are very strong. Some species have rows of posteriorly directed setae. And male copulatory organs functioning as clasping. They are definitely not very nice. The rodent fleas, this is the rodent flea. You can find them in rats. Then you have the Trichoptera, hair on the wings. The caddish flies. Also you can find them, this is important in forensic entomology. The diversity of the distribution, there are around 11,000 species described, worldwide distribution, highest diversity in Southeast Asia and South America, and 176 million years ago you found fossils. Major feature, mostly they are nocturnal. In the night they are found almost everywhere there is fresh water. Body and wings. So this is the student has put this in bold. And so body and wings, mostly forewings, are covered with hair. This is the major characteristics. And the forewings and hindwings are held over the body in a tent-like manner. You find these flies going sometimes in the night when the light is on. You find these type of insects like a tent-like manner. Their wings are covered like this. You can find them going. And the taxonomy, you don't need much of them. There are 10 superfamilies and 49 families. And example of caddish flies are, these are some examples. Then you have the famous Lepidoptera, or the butterflies. Lepidoptera means scale, and wings means, so you have scales on wings and wings. So the common moths and butterflies. Oh, see, so many species are there. 2 lakh species occur on all continents except Antarctica. Diversity is highest in tropical regions. Even your Bombyx mori, your silkworm, is a Lepidopteran. Fossil records have been found very less. Major features: coiled proboscis through which nectar can be sucked. Multi-segmented antenna. Forewings and hind wings are linked by a frenulum or jugum. Frenulum is just a light membrane which joins structures. Underneath your tongue, you find there is a membrane that is known as frenulum. Taxonomy, you don't need it. So some beautiful butterflies. The purple emperor, the red admiral, skippers, then the heteropterus. That's also this is the monarch butterfly. This you have seen a lot. This is the monarch butterfly. Different other butterflies you can find. The sword tails, the common gull, the purple hair streak. I remember we took some pictures of butterflies during our excursion in Sundarbans. Then the moths. These are the moths. Different types of moths you can see. Emperor moths. More or less they are very beautiful creatures. Then you have the silkworm. The silkworm doesn't look very good, but the silk is good. Then comes the famous hymenopterans. Or hymen means membrane. If you see ants, you can see that abdomen and the thorax, they are joined by a thin hymen, a thin membrane. So they are the ants, bees, wasps, sawflies, termites. They belong to this group. 132,000 recognized species, worldwide distribution. Oldest you can find from Triassic age in Australia, Central Asia and Africa. Wings are membranous and are joined by small rows of hooks called hamuli, but ants don't have wings. Mouth parts, adapted for chewing and biting. But in bees, proboscis is present for collecting nectar. So the small membrane or the hymen is the most important thing. The wings are membranous. This is very important. And this is the taxonomy. So different hymenopterans, you can see these are the different hymenopterans. Sawflies. Different types of aphids are present. Wasps. Vespa. Bees and ants. These are bees and ants. They are social animals also. And some of the reference which has been taken. And basically this is not made by me. So I end it here. Okay, and of course you can go through my note over here. হ্যাঁ বলো রিয়া so order
হ্যালো স্যার
হ্যাঁ
সেই নোটটা দিয়ে দেবেন একটু
হ্যাঁ আমি
আমাকে
গ্রুপেতে আমি এটা আপলোড I'll be uploading it right now
যেটা আপনি বললেন না হার্বিভোরাস ওইটা
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ সব
এক্সাম্পল
all of them I'm going to Google Classroom এতে জাস্ট একটু পরেই আমি আপলোড করে দিচ্ছি নো চিন্তা নেই
হ্যাঁ স্যার এটা
কালকে ভুলে গেছি কালকে শুধু আমি একটাই করেছি ভুলে গেছি এই দুটো করতে এইটা আর এইটা আর এইটা
হ্যাঁ এইটাই বলছিলাম এইটা এক্সাম্পল
এইটা আর এইটা করে দেবো আর ওটা তো করেই দিয়েছি অলরেডি ঠিক আছে তো
ঠিক আছে
হ্যাঁ এইটা তাহলে আমি বন্ধ করছি তাহলে আজকে রেকর্ডিং বন্ধ করছি এখন ওকে কোয়েশ্চেনস আছে এনি কোয়েশ্চেনস এনিবডি Okay, if the questions come, ask me. I'm always there on phone, or you can even ask me in the Google Classroom. I'll give the answers. Okay.